When I talk about loser friends, I'm not talking about friends who are like unsuccessful, okay? Because you're always going to have friends who are extremely successful, who make a lot of money, who hit the career milestones, and you're always going to have friends who try and are hardworking and talented and decent and great in every regard, and they're just not very successful. I'm not talking about that. That kind of guy is not a loser friend. He's just a guy who's unlucky. As you get older, you'll realize that so much of your success is based on luck more than anything else. Sure, you need to work. Sure, you need to put in the hours, put your shoulder up against the wheel, yeah. But in the end, you'll find, as you look back on your life, that a lot of the biggest successes in your life had a lot to do with luck. And some guys, luck just hasn't gone their way and they are unsuccessful. That is not the kind of guy I'm talking about in this video. I'm talking instead about the loser guy. You know the loser guy? The guy who always has an explanation as to why he didn't succeed. See? The guy who never sort of like amounts to anything. The guy who always is like shitting on other people who are successful. You know that guy, that loser guy? And the problem with loser guys like that is that a lot of them are incredibly charismatic. Yeah, they're cool. They're cool people, and you want to hang around them. You want to be friends with them. They're these guys who are just cool, and they're like very ironic, and a lot of them are very, very funny. A lot of them are very, very funny, and you're going to understand why in just a second. These guys, some of them are just so fucking funny. They have the perfect crack, the perfect witticism, and they shit all over somebody, and just like perfectly with just like one line, right? Yeah, I know those guys. I knew plenty of those guys. I still do, as a matter of fact. I've known guys like that all of my life, that they're funny and they're witty, and somehow they never amount to anything. Somehow it's just like, oh, this, that, the boss man, or the bank didn't lend me the money, or this, or that, or the other. They always have an explanation as to why they're fucking failures. Yeah, they're fucking losers. And they're hitting you up for money. You're like, oh, you mind lending me a couple of $100 till payday? And then they sort of like never pay you back, right? Yeah. And they're always shitting on people who are successful. They're always shitting on those guys who like work like dogs and make it big, and they shit on them. And they look down on them. And they say, oh, that guy is a sellout. Oh, he cucked out, or he's this or that or the other, That kind of guy. That's a fucking loser guy. And you want to stay the fuck away from that kind of guy. You want to stay as far away as possible from any of these loser friends, because these loser friends will drag you down. These loser friends will give you the reason, the justification to not give it your all, to not strive for better, for greater, for higher, for more. They're going to be funny. That's the thing, because like I said, they're charismatic, they're attractive. And I guess what it is, they are using their humor to mask the fact that they're losers. They are using their humor to mask the fact that they, at heart, are fucking cowards. See, that's the thing. And you start looking at these guys, these loser friends you might have, and you start looking at them a little bit more closely, and you're going to start to realize that a lot of them are fucking cowards. They're fucking terrified. They're fucking terrified of diving into the pool. They're fucking terrified of giving it their all for something. That's the thing. That's the secret of loser friends, the kind of guy you do not want in your life. Okay? Loser friends are fundamentally guys who are too cowardly, too chicken shit to give it their all in pursuit of a goal that they might have. They might have dreams and ambitions, but they never tell anybody about them. They never tell a soul. And they never strive for them. They never strive for these goals because they're afraid. They're afraid that they're going to fail. They're afraid of their own fucking shadow. Who knows what the fuck they're afraid of? Because being afraid has never been my problem. Okay? I'm not saying that I'm the bravest guy in the world. You know, a lot of times I've done things that are sort of like foolhardy. But see, I don't allow fear to rule the decisions of my life. Yeah, sure. Prudent caution, yes, but fear, paralyzing fear, I don't know that. But these guys do. That's the thing. Loser friends, they never amount to shit, and they live in their shitty little apartments, right? Because they're afraid. And they use their brains, because they are brainy, they are smart. They use their brains to self-justify why they are failures. They use their brains to mock people who are successful. They use their brains not in anything that will help them achieve their goals, but in explanations as to why they didn't achieve their goals. See, because with loser friends, it's always somebody else's fault. It's always something out there in the world that's at fault. They didn't do anything. It's the rest of the world. It's the boss, like the bank. I remember there was this one guy I knew. He constantly kept saying that the bank didn't lend him the money for the project that he had. He could have gotten the money. It was not an expensive project. He could have actually shopped it around among a few investors that he actually knew, people who dedicate their lives to putting money behind deals that might or might not be successful. He could have gotten the fucking money. He didn't need a fucking bank, but he needed the excuse of the banks to never try. These fuckers, that's their thing. They always have an explanation or a reason for their failure. They're not like the unsuccessful friend. The unsuccessful friend that I talked about at the beginning of this episode, right? That unsuccessful guy, he doesn't give explanations. He said, oh, it just didn't work out. Or I gave it my all, but this failed. I mean, he's not happy about it. He's probably very bitter about it. Of course, you'd be bitter too if you dedicated a lot of time and effort and money and capital that you couldn't afford to lose on some project that didn't come to fruition. Of course, you'd be bitter about it. But see, if you're a decent guy, you're not going to be blaming somebody else. At best, you'll say, well, it was bad luck. At best. That's the worst that a guy, an unsuccessful guy, but a decent guy will say. The loser, oh man, he comes up with these explanations, man. It's fucking conspiracy theory, for crying out loud. Yeah, it's always somebody else's fault. Somebody else had it in for him, or he had some enemy, or the boss, or this, or that, the other. They never look in the mirror. They never ever look in the fucking mirror. They never look in the mirror, and they never say, I was wrong. I was the reason that it didn't work out. I didn't try enough. I didn't this, I didn't that. They never say that. Never. Because again, it takes a certain degree of courage to look in the mirror and accept that your failure is because of your own flaws or faults or mistakes that you made. Yeah. It takes a bit of courage to do that. And see, that's the thing. Loser friends, they have no balls. They're witty, they're funny, they're smart, they're this, they're that, the other. But they have no balls. They can't even face their own mistakes. It's always somebody else's fault. And they are fucking perfect. Now, why am I warning you against these guys? Why am I warning you against loser guys, loser friends? Because they will drag you down. Simple as that. And this is how they drag you down. You tell them some plan that you have, some project that you want to do, some ambition, some goal that you have, a perfectly reasonable goal, perhaps something that you can achieve, no problem, just a lot of work and effort, sure, but you can achieve it. You've got what it takes to make it happen. And you see, these loser friends, you know what they're going to do? They're going to start saying, no, I don't think you can make it. No, why don't you hang out with me and let's play video games? No, it's too hard. You shouldn't try. Look, man, the other guys are going to do it. The bigger guys, you're too little. Who are you? You're nobody. Come on, let's go and have a drink. That's what they're going to fucking tell you. They're always going to have an excuse as to why you shouldn't try. And if you try, they're going to keep on throwing shit at you. And it's not going to be like obvious. They're not going to say, that you're an idiot or an asshole. No, they're going to just like undercut you, like little chipping at you, like little nicks at your shin. You know what I'm saying? Just constantly chipping. Yeah. And when you fail, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, I told you so. I told you so. You couldn't make it. You couldn't succeed. That's what they're going to tell you. See? Because that's loser friends. They're fucking losers. They are guys who are cowards, and they cannot stand anyone who's got the balls and the gumption and the drive and the push to try to make it. They hate that guy. They'll hate you. They'll hate you, especially if you succeed. If you succeed, you have no idea how much shit they're going to throw your way. You have no idea how much crap they're going to say behind your back. You have no idea how much hatred they're going to have for you if you succeed. See, because if you succeed, you showed them up. By your mere example, you've shown that they're fucking losers. See, because these guys live in a world of unreality. A world that is much more dangerous and impossible. And this illusion in which they live in allows them to just sit on their asses and not try. And just watch video games and movies and, go out drinking and not do what's necessary in order to win, in order to succeed, in order to achieve the things that you want out of life. See what I'm saying? See, and losers, man, loser friends, man, they flock to people who might succeed. That's the danger of them. See? They flock to them because somehow they want to pull them down. They don't even realize it. I'm not saying that they're evil people that are trying to shit on you and pull you down on purpose. I don't think that they realize it, but I've noticed that they do this. They latch on to people who are trying, and they try to pull them down. Just pull them down, and when they fail, when you fail, they'll be happy because it reaffirms their cowardice. So you have to stay the fuck away from such people. That's why you stay away from them, because they will suck you, pull you down, suck you into the vortex of their misery and cowardice, and you don't want to be a part of that. You want to succeed. You want to get the things that you want out of life, right? You're at some bar, and this guy, you're having a good drink with him and a good time and a laugh and all the rest of it, right? And you see some girl, some real, like a 9 on a 10 scale, right? I mean, just real smoking hot girl across the bar. And the guy says, oh, forget about her. She's out of your league. That guy's a loser friend. That guy who tells you you can't do it. That guy who tells you that, she's out of your league, or that project is too impossible, or this, that, the other. Yeah, the guy who pulls you down. Now, to tell you the truth, this topic, gets me a little hot under the collar because, see, I hate these guys. I really do. I hate these like loser friends. And the reason I despise them so much is because, well, first of all, I knew a few of them, and a lot of them shit all over me and my ambitions back in the day. Yeah. And I heard later how they were shitting all over me and talking shit about me and saying that I was a fool, I was crazy, that I was nuts, that I would never achieve any of the things I wanted to achieve, things that I did achieve, right? And to my face, they were always smiling, the motherfuckers. And it was only behind my back that they were telling other people this shit, that I was a fool and all the rest of it, right? And I heard that, and it just filled me with anger, right? And so, yeah, I know whereof I speak, and it worries me because, see, I know a lot of guys, talented guys, who could have amounted to more, but they had loser friends around them. And some of them, unfortunately, weren't even loser friends, they were loser family, like their parents or their siblings or their spouses. And these people pulled them down, and they didn't achieve the things that they could have achieved because they had these losers fucking pulling them down. And it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, some guy that you knew could have achieved his dream, his goal in life, the thing that would have made him supremely happy, and he got shit on by his parents or his wife or whomever, somebody close to him, somebody attached to him. And so he sort of like, just sort of like nodded and sort of like turned his back on his dream and just led a very unhappy life. Because, you see, cowardice, that kind of cowardice is contagious. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. See, this kind of cowardice, the cowardice of the loser, it's catching. It's like a fucking virus. And that's why you have to stay away from these people. It's not enough to sort of like, be friends with them but ignore their shit. No. You got to cut them off. Cut them out of your life because they will bring you down. Because it is contagious. It's a fucking virus. It's a virus of the mind. And I'm thinking of a couple of people, guys I knew real well. They could have made it in the things that they wanted. Or at least they could have had like a fighting chance, a realistic chance of achieving the things that they wanted to achieve. And they didn't go for it. And now they're men like me, 50, and they are so fucking bitter, so unhappy, so angry at life because they didn't go for it. Because back in the day, in their 20s and 30s, when they had the shot, when they could have made the move, when they could have reached for that goal, for that dream, they had some loser friends, some loser around them pulling them down. And so they didn't do it, and now they're filled with regret. I know 2 guys like that. I'm thinking about them right now. And I love them dearly, but they have become warped and kind of like pathetic things now because they didn't try, because back in the day they had people pulling them down, loser friends pulling them down. Don't let that happen to you.